Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're really focusing in on something valuable for you, learning how to learn better.
Yeah, think of this as us digging into how you can get the most out of, well, any information, really.
Exactly. And our mission for this deep dive, we're unpacking strategies for more effective learning.
That's right. We've been looking at Thibaut Meurisse's book, Master Your Learning, trying to pull out the most uh, practical stuff, insights to help you learn more deeply, hold on to information longer.
And become that sort of lifelong learner we all aspire to be, right?
hmm It's all about making learning work for you.
And one idea from the book that honestly jumped out at me right away is that learning isn't just memorizing stuff.
No, not at all. It's framed as a process, a journey even, that moves you from, say, where you are now.
To where you want to be with the knowledge or skills you're aiming for. So let's dig into what that actually means for you.
Well, what's really interesting is viewing learning as like a direct route to your goals. Maurice suggests that if you're not quite where you want to be in some area, often the gap is something you need to learn.
So it flips learning from a passive thing to an active tool,
Mm.
something you use to shape your future.
Precisely. And to make that tool work best, the book really pushes you to, well, look closely at how you learn right now.
Right. There are those self-assessment questions. Do you ever feel like you're just swimming in information, maybe lost?
Or maybe you find yourself rushing through things, you read it, but it doesn't really stick.
Yeah, or rereading pages and still not recalling the main points later. That feeling of being overwhelmed, maybe putting off study sessions.
Does any of that resonate with you, the listener? It's this self-reflection that's the crucial first step.
Becoming aware of your own habits, maybe the roadblocks you put up yourself.
Yeah, what stands out for you? For me, it's often that frustration of, like, recognizing something I know I read,
But you can't actually use it or explain it.
Yep.
Ugh, yes.
which leads perfectly into some common misunderstandings about learning the book tackles.
Like the big one. You need to learn faster. We see all those speed reading promises, don't we?
Oh, absolutely. The idea of just, downloading information faster is really appealing.
But is it effective?
Well, Meurisse quotes Mortimer Adler saying speed isn't usually the bottleneck, it's comprehension.
Right, like trying to speed read a language you barely know, it doesn't magically make you understand it.
Exactly. So the focus for you should really be on understanding deeply. Speed often comes naturally as you get more familiar anyway.
Okay, that makes sense. Another myth then. The idea that all information is created equal.
Definitely not. We're bombarded, but not every tweet or article deserves your full attention, does it?
No way. Your time's limited.
And that connects to the bigger picture for you. The book really advocates for prioritizing high-quality, relevant stuff.
So less scrolling through okay-ish content.
Yeah, because that can lead to overload, that drinking from a fire hose feeling, and you end up remembering less.
No.
It's often way better for you to really engage with one great resource.
Then just skim 50 mediocre ones. Got it.
Okay, and this next one. Oh, it's so ingrained. The feeling that you have to finish every single book you start.
Oh, the guilt. I know that feeling. You pick up a book, it's not clicking, but you feel obligated.
Right. But Meurisse brings in Naval Ravikant's view. Treat books a bit like blog posts sometimes, if it's not serving your purpose right now.
It's okay to put it down.
It's okay. Be selective. Your learning time is precious. Invest it where it gives you the best return. Don't feel bad about moving on.
Good advice. Okay, last myth in this section. The I recognize it, therefore I know it trap.
Ah, yes. We've all been there. You read something, maybe listen to a lecture, nod along, feels like you get it.
But then later, if someone asks you to explain it, blank stare.
Exactly. It highlights the massive difference for you between passive exposure and active engagement. Recognition isn't learning.
You've got to wrestle with the material yourself.
You do. Okay, so we've busted some myths for you. Let's talk about what the book says learning actually is.
And point one circles right back to the start. It's a goal-achieving process for you.
Learning is the engine, really. It gets you from point A, where you are, to point B, where you want to be. It's about gaining what you need to reach your goals.
It's also called power on demand. I like that. In today's world, being able to learn what you need when you need it, that feels like a superpower for you.
It really is a kind of power for you.
Yeah.
And a huge part of that power is, well, the book calls it thinking well.
So not just hoarding facts, but processing them.
Exactly. Effective learners, for you, understand the structure, they identify the main point, they pause and reflect.
Summarize it in their own words. Connect it to what they already know.
Yes. asking yourself, what does this remind me of? Or can I come up with an example? And pinpointing key stuff, new terms, vital facts, the core theories, those are your building blocks.
Building blocks for your understanding. Makes sense.
And this leads to another cool definition. Learning as a process of elimination.
Elimination. How so?
Well, if you have clear goals, learning becomes about sorting through all the available info and keeping only what you actually need to reach that goal.
Ah, okay. So it brings focus, cuts through the noise for you.
Precisely. It helps manage that potential overwhelm.
Now let's shift to the mindset piece. The book talks a lot about the learning mindset. It's not just techniques, it's how you see yourself.
Totally. And a really powerful idea here for you is the identity shift.
Meaning?
Consciously deciding to see yourself as someone who is a capable learner, someone who can figure things out.
Believing you are that person.
Yeah, that shift in how you view yourself can make a huge difference in your motivation and, frankly, how much you enjoy learning.
It ties right into adopting a growth mindset, doesn't it? Believing your abilities aren't stuck.
Exactly. That you can always improve. The book mentions neuroplasticity, too. Your brain's amazing ability to change and adapt, literally rewire itself at any age.
So it's never too late for you to learn something new. Your brain is like a muscle.
Never too late for you. And to help build this mindset, the book offers these empowering beliefs, almost like affirmations you can adopt. Like things like, I can always learn and grow, or I can figure things out. Learning is an inevitable process. Even I can learn anything faster than almost anybody else.
Wow, that last one's bold, but it primes your mind for success, I guess.
It does. And then there's mastering the learning process itself, the learning cycle.
What does that involve for you?
It emphasizes things like consistency, celebrating small wins to keep momentum going, visualizing the outcome you want.
Focusing on the journey, not just the end point.
Right. Accepting bumps in the road, remembering you can always improve, trusting the process, and crucially, letting go of self-doubt. It's about building resilience for your learning journey.
That all sounds vital. And making your subconscious work for you, how does that fit in?
Ah, that's fascinating. Your conscious mind sets the goal like, I want to learn Spanish, but your subconscious is like the powerful engine that actually gets you there.
So clear goals and positive beliefs act like instructions for your subconscious.
Kind of. You're telling it what to look for, what to work towards, often without you even realizing it's happening. It starts noticing Spanish words everywhere, for example.
Okay, so you've got the mindset dialed in. Now the big practical question for you. What should you actually spend your time learning?
Crucial question, because time is finite, right? Saying yes to learning one thing means saying no to loads of other things for you.
You have to choose carefully.
Definitely.
Yeah.
The book gives key criteria for you to consider. First, your genuine interest. Passion fuels learning.
Makes it less of a chore.
For sure. Second, usefulness. How does it align with your big picture? Your goals, career, personal growth? What's the potential upside for you? And the reach. Can learning this open up other doors for you?
Okay, interest, usefulness. What else?
Timeliness. Is this relevant for you right now?
Yes.
Given your other commitments, your energy levels?
No point learning something you can't use soon and might just forget.
Exactly. Apply it or lose it, often.
Makes sense.
Right.
And what about the time commitment involved?
The book breaks it down. You've got intermediate learners maybe putting in 3-5 hours a week, advanced 5-10, masters doing way more, like 25-35.
Well.
But the key message for you is, for a skill that's really going to make a difference, you probably need at least 3 to 5 hours a week consistently.
Otherwise, progress might be painfully slow for you or just not happen.
Pretty much. It also categorizes skills by estimated time for you. Minor skills, maybe 550 hours. Intermediate, 5,500. Major ones, 500 plus. Helps you set realistic expectations.
Right, helps you plan. Okay, so you've chosen what to learn. How do you nail down your specific learning goals?
Specificity is key here for you. Vague goals like learn guitar are hard to track. You need something concrete.
And visualization comes in again.
Big time. The book urges you to create a really vivid mental picture. See yourself playing that song, having that conversation, feel the accomplishment.
Make it real in your mind first.
Yeah, it's a huge motivator. Then, importantly for you, find blueprints and best practices. Don't reinvent the wheel.
Meaning, find people who've already learned what you want to learn.
Exactly. Ask them for advice. What would they do differently now? What's the 80-20, the crucial 20% of effort that gets 80% of the results for you?
Find the experts, read their books, watch their stuff. Look for a proven path, a strategic plan.
Yes, that's the blueprint. And distinguish between process goals and result goals for yourself.
Okay, what's the difference there?
Result goal is the finish line, like running the marathon. Process goals are the steps to get there, your training schedule, hitting your mileage each week.
And the book says focus on the process for you.
Heavily. Nail the process consistently, and the result often takes care of itself.
Makes sense. And make the goals smart, right?
Yep. Specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, time-bound. Gives you that clear framework.
And break them down.
Chunk them down. Big goals can feel daunting. Break them into small, manageable tasks so you feel like you're making progress all the time.
Keeps the momentum going. So you've got your smart, chunk down goals. How do you actually implement the plan?
Decide how much time you can realistically commit. Schedule it, time block it in your calendar. Build routines.
And your environment matters too.
Hugely. Surround yourself with positive influences, people who support your learning, and be mindful of the quality of information you're consuming. Garbage in, garbage out applies to learning too.
Okay, solid roots established. Now, part 2. Strengthening your learning tree trunk. What's the trunk mean for you?
The trunk is your foundational knowledge in that area, the core stuff.
And the danger is piling on new leaves, new info, without a strong trunk.
Exactly. The book warns against just layering on facts without that solid base. It's unstable for you. The new stuff doesn't have anything solid to connect to.
So focus first on the fundamentals for you.
Yes. Core concepts, major principles, the basic laws or theories relevant to your goal. Without grasping these, you risk getting lost in the details later on.
The book used economics, right? You need supply and demand, inflation, the basics.
It even suggests you try defining key concepts in your field yourself before looking them up. Forces you to grapple with the core idea.
Active recall again, in a way.
It is. Then there are major principles or mental models. These are like thinking tools that help you understand things across different situations.
Like the 80-20 rule.
Yeah.
Or understanding incentives.
Exactly. Or neurons that fire together, wire together. Building a toolbox of these models massively boosts your understanding and ability to apply knowledge.
And briefly, laws like in physics precise foundational rules.
Right. Those concepts, principles, laws, they form the strong trunk for your learning tree.
Got it. Roots, trunk. Now, part 3, watering your tree. This is about effective learning techniques for you.
Yes, the how-to of making learning stick.
Yeah.
And the absolute cornerstone here is active recall.
We keep coming back to that, making the effort to pull information out of your brain, not just push it in.
Precisely for you. The book groups techniques into make the effort and make effortful recall.
Okay, let's start with make the effort recall techniques that you can use.
These are ways you actively engage. First up, pre-testing. Test yourself before you even start studying a topic.
Why? To see what you already know or don't know.
Exactly. It helps you focus your learning effort where it's needed most. Then there's pre-study recall.
Which is?
Before diving into something new, just take a minute to recall what you already know about it. Activates your existing knowledge framework.
Sets the stage for new info. Makes sense.
Then, immediate recall or fresh recall. Right after you read or watch something, try to summarize the main points. In your own words.
Cements it right away.
Mind mapping is another big one for you, creating those visual maps.
Central topic. Branches for main ideas, sub-branches for details.
Yeah, it mirrors how our brains link ideas. It's very effective for organizing and recalling complex information for you.
Summarizing is in there too, obviously.
Definitely. Mentally, in writing, making audio notes explaining it, using mind maps. And the key for you is using your own words.
Not just copying. Okay, what about note-taking?
Real-time recall. But the book stresses doing it with purpose. Don't just transcribe. Paraphrase. Add your thoughts, questions, connections.
And review them soon after.
Yes, promptly and regularly. Recall from the notes. Maybe teach it to yourself from them. Turn them into flashcards or mind maps.
Interesting point about maybe taking notes after the lesson, not during. Forces more recall.
It can, yeah. Worth experimenting with for yourself. Strategic skimming is also mentioned.
Getting the overview of a book first. Title, contents, intro, conclusion.
Exactly. Helps you decide if it's worth a deep dive and where to focus if it is.
And highlighting or making notes in books.
Useful if you then actively process those highlights later. The highlighting itself isn't the learning. It's the recall based on the highlight. Exporting ebook highlights helps too. Using book summary templates can structure this for you.
Teaching. Explaining it to someone else.
Hugely powerful for you. Forces you to clarify your own understanding. Whether it's a friend, a post online, whatever.
Elaboration, coming up with your own examples or analogies.
Yes, if you can explain a concept using different metaphors or examples you came up with, you've really got it.
And finally, doing, applying it in the real world.
Skin in the game, as the book calls it for you. Nothing makes you learn faster than needing the skill in a real situation.
Okay, that's a lot of make the effort techniques. Now, what about make effortful recall? How's that different for you?
These add specific strategies, usually involving timing, for really locking things in long term.
Like the big one, spaced repetition.
Absolutely crucial for long-term retention for you. Reviewing stuff at increasing intervals, we all know cramming doesn't work long-term, right?
You forget it almost immediately after the test.
Spacing it out strengthens those neural pathways over time. Testing yourself, even getting it wrong, is part of the process.
How often should you review?
It depends on your goal, how well you know it already. But tools like flashcard apps, Anki is a popular one, have built-in algorithms to manage the spacing for you. Highly recommended.
Okay. Then distributed learning. Sounds similar?
It is related. It's about spreading your learning sessions out generally. Shorter, regular sessions beat infrequent marathon sessions for you. Consistency over intensity sometimes.
And interleaved practice. What's that?
This is about mixing up the types of problems or exercises you practice within a session.
Instead of just drilling the same thing over and over.
Exactly. Like, if you're learning math, mix different problem types instead of doing 20 of the same kind. Or practice different tennis serves randomly. Research shows it feels harder, but leads to better, more flexible learning for you.
Interesting. Okay, so you're using all these techniques, but what about just too much information? That brings us to part 4, pruning the tree.
Yeah, dealing with information overload and that tempting shiny object syndrome. Very relevant for you today.
So the problem is too much input, not enough output, like recall or application.
That's a big part of it.
Yeah.
It leads to weak foundations, feeling overloaded, analysis paralysis where you just get stuck in chasing the next new thing, or FOMO.
So how do you prune, cut back?
The book suggests practical steps for you. Unsubscribe from newsletters you don't read. Limit mindless scrolling on social media or YouTube. Turn off distracting notifications. Be intentional about consumption.
Take control of your information diet.
Exactly. And for shiny object syndrome, always wanting to jump to the newest, coolest learning project.
Yeah, abandoning what you started.
The key is commitment and focus for you. Stick to the plan you made. Meurisse uses his own example of sticking to writing books even when other ideas seemed exciting. See your chosen path through.
Discipline. Okay, finally, part 5 looks at different types of learning. Do you need different approaches?
The book suggests tailoring your strategy a bit, yes. For conceptual learning, understanding ideas and theories.
What's the advice for you there?
Prioritize the core info. Really focus on those fundamentals and mental models. Look for concrete examples and write about it to solidify your thinking. Go general to specific.
Okay, and for practical skills, learning to do something.
Big emphasis on skin in the game, real-world application for you. Set specific goals. Find the best method or training. Schedule practice. Break the skill down.
And practice deliberately. What does that mean again?
It's not just mindless repetition. It's practicing with full concentration, pushing just outside your comfort zone, getting feedback, and building a clear mental picture of success. It's about actively challenging yourself to improve, not just going through the motions.
Crucial difference. What about language learning?
2 main paths mentioned for you. Direct learning. Speak from day one. Learn essential phrases. Interact. Don't sweat mistakes early on. Focus on communicating.
And the other?
Input-based learning. Focus on understanding first, lots of listening grading at your level, comprehensible input, gradually increase difficulty, find engaging stuff, use tools like Anki for vocab grammar, speak when ready.
Okay, and standardized tests. Any tips for you there?
Know the test inside out. Get advice from people who passed. Gather the right materials. Set a deadline. Schedule study time. Take practice tests to see where you are.
Practice past questions. Learn from mistakes.
Yep. Use spaced repetition for things you get wrong. Simulate exam conditions. And be ready to adjust your plan based on how you're doing.
Right. So bringing this all together for you, the listener, what's the core takeaway from this deep dive into master your learning?
I think the main message is that effective learning isn't passive. It's an active, strategic, ongoing process that you really can get good at.
It takes that self-awareness about your habits, cultivating the right mindset, that growth mindset.
Believing you can improve, yeah.
Yeah.
And focusing on building that strong foundation, that trunk of core knowledge.
And then consistently using active recall. watering the tree with those techniques we talked about.
And learning to prune, filtering out the noise, resisting distractions, staying focused on your goals.
So by putting these principles into practice, you really can get closer to your learning goals, whatever they are.
Absolutely. Whether it's for work, personal interest, pure curiosity, you can become that effective lifelong learner.
So maybe a final thought for you listening. Learning is definitely a journey. There will be ups and downs, challenging bits, moments of insight. But remember, armed with these kinds of effective strategies and just sticking with it, perseverance. Pretty much any learning goal you set is achievable.
Totally agree.
So take a moment now. What's one key idea from our chat today that really resonated with you? Just one thing. And think, how could you start applying that to your own learning, maybe even today? Thanks for taking this deep dive with us.